Dominic Norton. We're going to jump to the slide. I will be doing a workshop with you about how to create applications without code. Before we talk about what no code is and what it actually means to create applications without code, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. So I was an international basketball player. I'm from the UK. I was an international basketball player and got a scholarship to play basketball in America for a college in America where I studied architecture and construction. This is important because I didn't come from a computer science background. I love technology a lot. I was making apps when I was growing up, but I didn't do it at school. When I went into the field as a professional, I became what's called a virtual design construction engineer. So I was just basically an engineer that focuses on making technology. And I was making technology such as drones, 3D printing, virtual reality, augmented reality, laser scanning, a lot more new technology for some of the biggest companies like Blue Origin, Microsoft, Mercedes, and Citibank. These are international companies, some of the biggest companies in the world. For about 2 years, I've been a freelance developer. About a year and a half, 2 years, I've been a freelance software developer. I've advised startups that have raised money, and I am a venture capital scout, and I scout for the Makeover Fund. So the Makeover Fund is a venture capital fund that supports startups and entrepreneurs building solutions using no-code tools. For about a year and a half, year and a half, I've been a journalist in the hackathon space. If you don't know what hackathons are, they're amazing events where people come together to solve problems using technology. And I've been a journalist in the space. I've been competing in the space for many, many years, but I started a blog and a podcast about hackathons, and I've been really deep in the no-code space for about a year too. What is no code? No code or no code tools enable you to create quick and low cost tech solutions without coding. So some no code tools you may or may not recognize the names are Bubble, Glide, Adalo, Webflow. You might know Shopify, Squarespace, Bravo, and Airtable. These are just some of the most popular names, but you probably have over 100 no code tools where you can create native applications, websites, voice applications, all without coding. Use cases. What can you actually build with these tools? People are building food delivery sites. They're building blogging sites. They're building sites for listing real estate property. They're building social media apps. They're building online courses, job boards, marketplaces, and more. What we're actually going to build is a business education app, but for Ghanaian students. We are going to focus on, if we can get through everything, that will be amazing. We might not be able to get through everything. We're going to focus on how to create a database with Google Sheets, how to create user interfaces with Glide, how to create user profiles, how to add content, and how to create user permissions. So does that make sense for everybody? I can't actually see everybody, so you're just going to have to say everything's okay. Does everyone understand?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'll give you an example of what we're going to make if I just sign out. So all of this was built without coding. This is what it looks like if you go on the web. If you visit this URL on your phone, it looks like a normal app. So I can sign in with Google. And I'm going to sign in. So it signs me in, and it's going to load the app. So it loads the app. if we jump home, it welcomes me. We have featured videos, we have featured articles, and we have some bonus elements on the homepage. We can click on a video, and it opens this video, and this is just about business ideas. To start, you can add a rating, and you can actually rate it. We have videos in the video tab where you can add to favorites. You can filter videos by the type of videos. Articles. We can read articles. And if we go to another article, so this is open in a web view, so it's open on a web page inside our app. We can see what we have uploaded, what that particular user has uploaded, and we can make changes to our profile. So we'll be going over some of this. We probably won't have time for all of it, but we will go over as much as we can within the time. I do have a time limit on my Zoom, so I'll let you know before my Zoom cuts off, and I will send a link again so we can complete the workshop. What I actually have on the back end is it's a Google Spreadsheets database. So all the data is stored in Google Spreadsheets. As you can see, my videos are here. My articles are here. I had different categories as choice options. You can see app logins. I logged in a couple times. So you can see all this information in our spreadsheet, which acts as our database. I'm just going to, I think someone was trying to get in. I think they might be gone now. So what we're going to do to start off, what we're going to do to begin with is, before we get started, I'm going to show you Glide. So Glide is the platform we're using to make our front end. So all the user interface elements are coming from Glide, and we just connect this to our backend database, and it's really, really easy to get started. You can either start from scratch, or you can use the templates they have. They have lots of templates for you, whether you want to do health or remote work or business operations or education app like we're going to make. So to start off, what I'm going to do is I have Google Sheets open. I'm going to create a new sheet. You need to create your backend database first, or create some initial data. So while that loads, what I'm going to do is name this. We're going to name Ghana Business App 2, maybe. And what we need to do is give it some header rows, so Glide knows actually what the rows contain, what type of data the rows contain. So we're going to make this first sheet only videos. And we're going to name one title. We want the title of the video. We want the description of the video. We want a cover image. And we want the video's URL. So for our videos tab, this is the minimum that we need. You can change this to whatever you want to change this to. And what we're going to do now is start to input our first data and our first element. So if we go here, and all I'm going to do is copy and paste what I already have from my videos, just to save time. So I'm going to copy that. And we're going to paste this here. So what we're looking at is I have a title of the videos, and I've just taken these videos from YouTube. I have a description, the same description they have on YouTube. I have a cover image, and I've connected the URL to my Google Drive. And that's important. Anytime you want to use an image in Glide, you have to put the image in your Google Drive, and then you have to use the link from your Google Drive and put the link here. And I have the URL for the video on YouTube. So we have the minimum we need now to start our app. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to log in. It takes you to a dashboard when you log in. And what you do is click New App, click from Google Sheets. Click Garner Business App 2. That's the name of my sheet that I just made. So it's going a bit slow. We got a lot going on. So I click OK. And now what Glide is going to do is initiate my app. So as you can see, Glide initiates my app, and this is the editor dashboard for Glide. On the left, we have some options. On the right, we have some options, and we have some settings and adjustments we can make at the top. Immediately, what we're going to do is go to the right side, and we're going to begin to adjust this initial layout. And the way we can adjust it, we can change the label. As you can see, it says videos. We're going to keep that for now. The source is coming from our videos tab in our Spreadsheets database. We're going to change this tab icon, and you'll see why in a minute. If I just type in video, because this is the only tab, as you can see up here, you can't see the tab icon, but if I just add another tab, you can start to see the tab icons at the bottom. And here I can control the tabs. I can hide it, show it. I can drag tabs to the menu. If I drag them to the menu, it gives me this menu up here, and it adds the tab to the menu up there. But we actually don't want that, and we don't want to show the chat. What you can do next is change the style of the layout. You can change it to tiles. You can change it to calendar. Calendar wouldn't be appropriate here because we don't have no dates in our database. Map wouldn't be appropriate here because we don't have no dates. Checklist is not quite what we want. Cards is what we want, but I'm going to keep going. Swipe is like swipe left or swipe right, like Tinder and in some of the apps that are more popular. Details is important, but we're not going to do that right now, but we're going to go over that shortly. We want to select cards. That looks good to me. But we can add additional customization. If we go to the left and click Inline List, what we can begin to do is add customization. It gives us more details. So when we scroll down, we can begin to map data. So we can map the cover image. We can add the header, take away the header. What I will do is take away the header. As you can see, it removes the header. And I'm going to change title Right now, title is mapped to description, but I want it to be mapped to title. So as you can see, I just mapped it to title. Right now, details is mapped to URL, but I want that to be mapped to description. So as you can see, our cards are starting to come along, but we can add more detail. We can change the shape. We can have it as a square. We can have it vertical. But I'm going to keep it as that. I'm going to make it, actually, I'll keep it full size. Make it outline. Adjust the corners. And I'm going to keep the orientation vertical, although you can make it horizontal. So they can scroll left and scroll right. But I'm going to keep it at vertical. We can add a favorite button. So when they hit the like button, it adds to their favorites. And lastly, we can add actions. So actions are important. Actions trigger workflows. So maybe when they click on this, you want it to navigate to a new tab or call a phone number or copy something to the clipboard. Maybe you want it to play a sound or open Webview. There's so many different things that you can want it to do. We want to view details, and you'll see what happens next. So when we click on this, you can actually view details. And do you remember when we had the style, there was this details card? That's what it's pulling up, the details card for this particular video. This information is just the same information that's here. It's exactly the same information. That's all it's showing. The beautiful thing about the details card is that what we can actually do is remove everything that was there before and begin to reformat it and design how we want. So what I clicked on is I just click the add button, and there's all these components that we can add to improve our detail screen. So maybe I add this, I center the text, and I use headline 2 or maybe headline 3. I'm mapping this to the title. Maybe I add another one and I keep it regular, set the alignment to justify, and maybe next I want to add video. And right now it by default mapped to cover image, but I want this to be mapped to URL. So now what we have is our homepage, which is the videos. When someone clicks on this, it takes them to the details of that video, and you can click on this and it's going to play the video. If I go back, click on this one, it's going to do the exact same thing, play this particular video. So before we continue, does anybody have any questions? Feel free to take yourself off mic because I can't see anybody and ask any questions. Actually, let me stop sharing so I can see if there's anything. There's people waiting. So what we might want to do next is, let's see our other app and all the features I added on the app. So I just added this videos tab. Maybe what we want to do next is allow people to filter and add videos. So to allow people to add videos, all you do is go to options, or you need to click on your inline list. You can click add form and allow users to add items. Now, when users click on this, they can add items. The problem with this is that we have all text entries, and the cover image is an image and the URL is a link. So what we want to do is to remove some of these defaults, and we want to allow them to upload an image. So we want to click image picker. allow them to upload a cover image and let it be required. We're also going to let these two be required. And we want them to add a link. And that link is just going to be text. It's going to be a text entry. So now, let's say ABC. Let's say ABC123. Hello world. We're just going to choose any image I have on my computer. I don't know. And then we're just going to add any URL. So when that finishes loading, we should be able, oh man, why did I do that? ABC123. Hello world. That's loaded. We're going to add our URL. And now we can click add. It's added a new entry and it maintains the same details. Even though I didn't add a video, you need to link a video or it's just not going to work. So in about 5 minutes, I will create a new link for us to use because we have about 10 minutes left. What we also want to do is allow people to filter. So to allow people to filter, you need to go back to your sheet and create something that, as you can see, it's added that new entry back to our database. To allow people to filter, we need to add a category. We need to add something that allows people to filter, and we need to say, what kind of video is this? We might say entertainment, or we might say beginner, not entertainment. Forgive my spelling. And we might say intermediate. And so what we want to do now, if I find my tab again, what we want to do now is add filters. So I'm actually going to refresh my spreadsheet. And do you want to, yes. So what I want to do now is click Inline List. I want to go to options and I want to allow them to filter by, in the in-app filter, category. So now you can see our two categories, beginner, intermediate. They click beginner, you can only see those two videos. If they click intermediate, you have that video. So what we're going to do next is add articles. We're going to add another tab and add articles. Just like we have right here. So to do that, we have to create another spreadsheet, just like we have in our other one. So I'm actually going to copy my other app and just copy the same details. I have title, description, image, URL. I'm going to create a new tab specifically for articles. And I'm going to paste this. We're going to go back to our app and we're going to add a new tab. We're going to click on our tab. And we're going to begin to make edits. So this is our articles tab. If I change the name of the label here, it changes the name right here at the bottom. I maybe want to change the icon to something related to the news, maybe. And I also want to change the source. As you can see, our spreadsheet hasn't updated, so all we have to do is click the refresh button right here. Click on articles. What we need to do this time is, as you can see, when we click on the details button, we need to format this details page. We're not going to make it exactly the same as the other details page. What we're going to do this time is copy that. We're going to map that to description. But this time we want to add a button so they can actually read the whole article. All we have to do is go and click button, say something like read full article. And this time we want to change the action. We don't want show notification because that doesn't do anything for us. What we want it to do is to open Webview, and Webview is just a function that allows you to open a web page inside an app. And what's actually going to happen this time is when you click, it doesn't show for that site, but if we click on this one, now it's opening this web page inside our app. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second, set up the next meeting link, and send you the link because this meeting is going to cut off in about 3 minutes. We got as far as we made this first tab where we have, this is our business education app. We have a first tab, we have videos, educating people. And I actually want to remove this category here. If we go back, we can filter the videos. Beginner. We can add new videos if we want to add new videos. We have articles too. So now we can see articles. We can click read the full article and allow people to read the full article. What we're going to do next is create user profiles. So the only way you can hide and show visibility and create different levels of permission, like admin and certain different types of levels of users, is by creating user profiles. And this is going to make sense as we do it. So what I want to do is go back to my sheet. I'm going to create a new sheet called users. I'm going to give it 3 columns. These are the minimum amount of columns you need for a particular user, but a user can have any amount of properties you want to give them. So you can add their favorite food, you can add whatever you want to add to a particular user, but they do need a name. It doesn't need to be called full name. It can just be name or whatever you want to call it. They need an email, and they need an image. Those are the minimum. What I'm going to do is just copy what I've done, copy some of my data from my other app. And I'm going to paste that. So now when we go back to our app, the way we add user profiles is we go to the settings, we go to privacy, we make public with email, we can allow with sign in with Google account. Then we go back to our app. And I'll just show you. We click on the menu here. We click on this icon and we have to connect the source. As you can see, it says user profile. We need to give the user profile a source. And it hasn't loaded yet. Anytime it hasn't loaded, just click the refresh button and it will refresh. So we're going to do that again. Click users. And as you can see, name, full name, email, email, image, image. And it shows my profile here. So now we have users' profiles. I can actually sign out. I'm not sure if it will let me sign out on, on this. I shouldn't have actually signed out, but I can actually sign out and sign in now that we have user profiles. So as you can see, I'm signed in. I'm admin, so I can't really sign out. What we're going to do is create a page that allows users to change their profile, or at least change their profile image and maybe their name. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to add a new tab. I'm going to call it My Profile. I'm going to add an icon. What I'm actually going to do is go to Option or go to Inline List. I'm going to go to Options, and this time we are going to remove the search bar and we are going to click Add Filter. And this is going to be important. What we're doing is filtering. We're going to filter and only show. Hold on. I actually did this wrong, so I'm going to jump back. We want the source to be users. Make sure the source is users. So when we go back and go to options, we're going to go to add filter. We're going to go to email is, and then we're going to say the current user's email. So right now, if there's another entry there that's not the current user's email, they're not going to be able to see it. They can only see the information that is the current user's email. And to make this make more sense, what I'm going to do is add. So I'm going to Dominic O'Norton. I'm going to add a different email just to show you. I'm going to use the same image. Scroll down. And now if I refresh, it actually won't show it. But if I remove this filter condition, you can see it shows it shows all the user profiles. So now I'm actually going to put this filter condition right back. Email, and you have to make sure it's the current user email. So next, what I want to do is change it from a list to the details page, because I don't need a list, because there's only one user profile that they're going to be looking at. What we want to do on this user profile page is start to add ways for a user to see their information. So we can go into add an image, and automatically it pulls the image, or it should be pulling the image from that particular user. Remember, it's only showing one user, and that's the current user. And what we're going to do is just make this look a little bit better. So all I'm doing is making appearance adjustments. I want to show the user's name. So right here shows my full name. Small. And I'm going to copy this. And this time I'm going to show the email. So now I can see the profile, name, and email. What I want to do to allow a user to edit this information is allow them to edit form and say allow users to edit, and they can only see their own information, so they can only edit their own information. When I click edit, it's going to give me these options. I don't want a user to edit their email. I want their email to say the same. And this is an image, so it shouldn't be text entry. What I actually want to do is change this to image. So image picker will be somewhere. Yeah. So this is image picker now. But if you notice something, and this is for your different use cases you make, you can do a directory for businesses and add locations. You can do forms, and people can sign their forms from their phone and send their forms to wherever they're going to send it to. There's lots of different use cases for this, and there's lots of different options for you to choose. So now we have that. I click done. So if I just show you what this is like, if I do this and I'm gonna change my image, I'll find something to change my image to. I'll let this upload. I click done, and it's changed my image. But as you can see up here, it's changed my image because it's changed my profile image completely. And that's written data directly to our database. Does anyone have any questions so far? So what we have is we have a videos tab, we have an articles tab, we have a my profile, but actually I want to create a home tab too. So what I'm going to do to create a home tab is use the customization that the details style allows you to use. I'm going to create a new tab, and it doesn't actually matter what source it is because I'm not really going to be using this source. I am going to call this home. I am going to change the icon to home. And I'm going to change this to details. And as you can see now, this is a blank canvas for us to work with. What I want to do is say something like, I'm going to put text and maybe say something like, I can change this to custom text and say, hello, welcome to my app. I maybe want to add a separator. And then what I might want to do is add featured videos. As you can see on my other app, if we go here, on my homepage, I actually have featured videos, and it shows a couple videos. It doesn't show all of them. I have featured articles and it shows some of the articles. So maybe that's what I want. I want featured videos and featured articles. So that's what we're going to make now. To do that, I have to use an inline list. And as you can see, it immediately sources the videos. I'm going to change this to cards. And I'm, again, going to add a different style. This time, what I'm actually going to do, and what makes more sense to do on a homepage, is do the orientation as horizontal. Now it allows me to add other things below. Just making sure everything is the way we want it. What I'm actually going to do is only show one item. I don't have that many things in my database, so you would probably do more than one. I usually remove this title and I give it a different title that I can customize a lot better. So I put this here and I say videos or featured videos. I turn this separator into a large separator. And maybe I hide the line divider. I'm going to copy this and paste it below. I'm also going to copy this and paste it below. And I'm going to say featured articles. This time I'm going to change my inline list to articles. And I'm going to change the style to list. I'm going to hide the title when the image is not available. And now you can see my featured articles too. There's lots of different options we could do. We could sort this by date if we have a date attached to this. We can group the articles, we can filter, we can add a search bar, we can change visibility depending on who the user is or details they have on their account. There's lots of different things we can do. We are going to add the final touches. And what I'm going to do is just add an image below. I'm going to change this to this. And I'm going to copy the same image that I've used in my other one. And then what I generally do is add my signature at the bottom. Let's see. Usually add a signature that says that's a regular size. Made with So we're putting the final touches on. So what we've done, we've created our videos, and for some reason I have removed. We created our videos, people can favorite it and like it. We've added articles and people can read articles. They can open the article and they can read the full article. We have a profile and people can adjust their profile. And we have a homepage where they can see featured articles, featured videos. What we're going to do now is publish our app. So to publish it, we just have to make some final touches. You can change the appearance. You can change the appearance, change the color. We can change this to look like that. We can change it to dark mode. And you can either match the device's theme or not match the device's theme. You might want to change the font. We might want to change the app info. So I'm going to leave it as Ghana Business App by Dominic. A business education app. You can add your own app icon, or you can upload one, or you can find one. I'm just going to find one right now and just put one there. You can upload your own logo there. And because we're using the free version, you cannot enable tablet or desktop mode. It opens as you see it here. I think so. I'm just trying to, if you have a free version, it opens up like this, which is not a problem. On your mobile phone, it opens like a normal mobile app. If you have the paid version, it makes some adjustments. Privacy, we already made changes. Some of these things are free premium services. If you have premium and you have a paid version, you can add a background to this, and you can add more customizations to the login page. You can actually create integrations and connections. You can create your own webhooks and connect it to your own webhooks, and to trigger certain workflows. You can add your Google tracking ID, and there's lots of different things you can do from here. What we're going to do to publish is to click publish. Let's see, it says publishing. We're going to change the name to Ghana Business App. We're going to copy this to Ghana Business App 2. We're going to copy this. And it is currently live. So if you go to Ghana Business App 2.glideapp.io, you will see that our app is live and people can log in, people can use it right now. So that is a brief overview. We could take a much deeper dive, but I think we've done a lot so far. And people are still coming in. I'm not sure if they lost connection. We could take a much deeper dive, but I think we've done a lot so far. Now is the time to ask questions if you have any questions. If there's any type of apps that you've had in mind that you wanted to create, now will be a good time to ask whether that can be done with Glide. I'll be interested to know what kind of apps you would want to make. So as you can see, I'm logging in right now. And this is the app we just made. On my app, on the other app I made, I added user onboarding. You can see what the person's uploaded. The person that's uploaded can delete articles and delete videos that they've uploaded. You have user onboarding. So if it's not, I will try to do this. I'm not sure if it will work. If it's the user's first time logging in and their profile is not complete, I have an onboarding process for them. Let's see if it's going to work. Yeah. So this is the onboarding process for them. This my upload shouldn't be there, but it says profile setup, and to see the other tabs, you have to finish your profile, and you finish your profile by uploading your image and changing your name. So we just upload any random image. Once they upload the image, and they click done, it will allow them to see all the other tabs. On the other one I've made, you have this dynamic text that takes their name and it says their name. And yeah, you just have more flexibility. As you can see, this was the picture I uploaded. So that is a quick overview. It says, someone said, how secured is your data in the database sheet? Well, it's Google. So if you was using Firebase, it's the same thing. Probably not exactly the same thing, but if someone's going to hack into it, they're hacking into Google, or they have permissions that you have gave them through Google. Yeah, so speak about the billing options. So if I pull up Glide, so the pricing Glide has the free version. I think the free version is really, really good for testing your ideas. I've paid for clients. I've done the pro version. Now, I don't know the currency conversion, but $32 a month is, I personally think that's a lot, but I also think it's worth it, especially if you have clients. So you remove their branding, you can add your custom domain to it. There's lots of other unlimited Zapier actions, unlimited signatures. It just has a lot more features. It doesn't actually say here, oh yeah, it says at the top, mobile, tablet, and desktop layouts. On the free version, it's just mobile layout. On the paid version, it creates a really nice desktop and tablet layout. And I don't think you would ever have to, not to say ever, but I think as a student entrepreneur, unless you have clients, you would never have to hit this really pro tier where you have private users and limit access by email. You can do that, but that's more corporate, I think. Let's see what other questions you have. A student wants to know how to remove the tab bar once it's been added. So if I go and I'm going to share my screen again. So I'm about to, what I'm going to do now is remove the tab bar. So what we actually want to do to remove this, I believe all we have to do if I want to remove this is right click on it. I have a Mac and I press Control and I clicked on it and I just can click delete and that's that tab gone. So hopefully that answers your question. Any other questions? How suitable Glide for corporate organizations with regard to the size of the app and privacy. Privacy isn't a worry because it's Google. So your database is still stored in Google. There's organizations running $1 million businesses using Google Spreadsheets. So if Google Spreadsheets is compromised, it's compromised for all these $1 million organizations that are currently managing their operations using Google Spreadsheets. People are storing passwords in Google Spreadsheets. So because it's Google, privacy is fine. Corporate organizations with regards to size of the app. So again, the size of the app wouldn't be a problem because your backend database is Google. Your front end is Glide, your back end is Google. All Glide is doing is reading and writing and making it look good. The use case for corporate organizations are probably a little different. They're probably using it for internal tools like HR. They're probably using it for recruiting internally. They're probably going to use more workflows. If I share my screen again, there's an interesting template. If I go back and go take a look at the templates, if we go to all templates, you have a simple CRM, you have conference templates, you have expense reporters. These are corporate type templates. We type in directory. You have employee directory. You have a business directory. So all you can see this template, and this has minimal features. You can always copy this template and build on top of it. So this might take a while to load, but you can see. Yeah, we're not going to wait for this to load. Let's see what other. Are there any other questions?